Familia Mitú, we'd like to welcome California Governor Gavin Newsom to Mitú Daily.
It's good to be with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Governor, it's such a privilege to have you. We've been looking forward to this for such a long time, and we are really happy that you're showing up for us and our community, especially now.
No, I can't even imagine all the emotions and how everybody's working and processing through this. So I appreciate the opportunity, particularly at this time, to engage and have this conversation.
Governor, the Trump administration claims ICE is targeting illegal criminals, yet we continue to see hardworking farm workers, restaurant workers, day laborers being detained. How can we ensure that undocumented immigrants in California are being protected and afforded due process?
Well, we're doing everything in our power to do just that. I called for a special session, which is just a fancy way of saying I called on the legislature to provide more resources, more financial resources for legal aid to support our networks that exists, our hubs up and down California, to share information in real time and to provide a process to do just that, to provide support for due process and to make sure that people that seek access to counsel get it. That said, this is an administration that doesn't believe in due process. People are quite literally disappearing. People that have been working here for decades and decades, going to work at the same place, are quite literally disappearing from the streets, being pulled out of their cars. I met with a young child down in Oxnard, and I say young, he's 12 years old, the age of my kids, and he couldn't even look me in the eye because he was so devastated. Every time he tried to talk, tears pouring down his face because both his parents, his mother and his father, both going to work, the same place for over 25 years, were gone. He had no brothers, no sisters, no aunt and uncle. Thank God he was getting support by the community. That's Donald Trump's America. That's what Donald Trump is doing. His mom, no criminal record. Less than 10% of the people that they picked up, less than 10, have violent criminal backgrounds. This is about mass deportation. This is about terrorizing diverse communities, and this needs to be called out. Forgive me for the intensity in response. I can't even imagine how many of your viewers are feeling if I'm feeling like this.
Now, we've seen countless videos of ICE agents in masks or unmarked vehicles, creating this fear and panic in our immigrant communities. What do you say to those who are afraid to leave their homes?
Well, it breaks your heart. People are literally not only not leaving their homes, not walking to work, not even going to work, but they're not even going to school. You know, we just put out a report in the Central Valley in California that we've had a 22% increase in absenteeism. It's near the end of the school year, but still, kids are not even going to school. They're not even showing up to their graduations. People that are here lawfully. We have 1 million children in California, 1 million children that have at least one immigrant parent. 1 million. They're here legally. The overwhelming majority of them here legally. And imagine the anxiety and terror they have, the stress that they're going through, these mixed status families. What's going to happen to mom and dad or your uncle, your grandparent? How can they focus on school? How can they focus on living life and just feeling like they can go to a playground or a park? We had an example, and this is a friend of mine, Ryan, one of my closest friends. He had his babysitter who literally had to stay 2 nights with him, and he had to pick up his babysitter's kids. She's here legally, but she was profiled in a park with his child, taking care of his child, and she was so scared she went to his house because she didn't want to go back home and asked him to pick up her 3 children from school, because she was so scared she was going to be racially profiled and picked up by those people in masks in unmarked cars and disappeared. Look, this is serious, and it continues to this hour down in Coachella yesterday. I mean, right near Dodger Stadium, just hours ago in Los Angeles. We're seeing it in fields all across California and increasingly across the country.
You brought up the masks again. There's a California bill that proposes to unmask ICE agents. Do you believe that's a meaningful step towards accountability?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not even making this up. Literally, that was a bill that was just introduced. There's over 2,000 bills. They just introduced that in reaction to everything going on. And it's actually going through legal counsel right now. The question is, can you legally require that they become unmasked? But regardless of the merits or the demerits of that, I mean, why are they masked? What are you afraid of? If they're doing your job, doing live, it's to increase stress. It's to increase anxiety. You said it, masked men, disproportionately men, in unmarked cars without identifying themselves, or at least difficult to even identify, from all of these multi-letter agencies that even if you're in the business of government, you don't even understand what half of these agencies do and who they are. And you're being quite literally thrown in the back of a car, whether you're a citizen or not, and they'll figure it out later. That's not America. That's not what our founding fathers lived and died for. And so I get it. I get going after people that are criminals. I do. I understand dangerous and violent people. No one wants dangerous and violent people. But that's not what this is about.
I'm really glad you brought up U.S. citizens are being detained. I mean, we see the case of Adrian Martinez as reported yesterday by the Los Angeles Times. He was a U.S. citizen that was detained. How can the state respond to these wrongful detentions and hold ICE accountable?
Well, they need to be held accountable. I mean, it'd be nice if we had 3 branches of government. We lost one of them. Congress has totally disappeared. Speaker Johnson is completely rolled over. The most irrelevant and consequentially inconsequential speakers. Consequential because he's not doing his job of oversight in Congress. But without that, we rely then on the courts. To your question, we rely on the court system. We rely on the laws of the land, the rule of law. We rely on the Constitution of the United States of America. We rely on those enduring principles that our founding fathers advanced 250 years ago, and we pray that the courts hold this democracy together.
Now, something that I don't understand is immigrants are so essential to both American and California economies. Like, what kind of toll do you think these aggressive ICE operations are going to have on all of us in the next weeks, days, months, and years?
I'm so proud to be governor of California. 4th largest economy on planet Earth. 4th largest economy in the world, $4.1 trillion. You know why? It's because of immigrants. It's because people from all around the world want to come and live their lives out loud here in California, the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. 27% of this state is foreign-born. And you talk about a state of mind for people that are foreign-born that come here for new beginnings, the entrepreneurial spirit. It's the reason Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley. It's the reason we push out the boundaries of discovery and research and science. More Nobel laureates, more scientists, researchers, engineers than any other state in America are immigrants. It's not just, though it is, and it's a point of pride, in our farms and ranches. It's not just in our restaurants. It's not just in our hotels. It's also at Wall Street. It's in the boardrooms. Some of the best and the brightest from around the world. That's what makes this state great. It's what's made America great. The life force. I'm in Ronald Reagan's old office, former Governor Reagan, not just president. His last speech in the Oval Office as President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, whose picture, his portrait, is right above the Resolute desk in Donald Trump's Oval Office. And there it is, Ronald Reagan looking down on Donald Trump, who said, Reagan, in his last speech, he talked about the life force of new Americans. He talked about Lady Liberty's torch. They were beautiful words. He recognized the essence of what makes America American. And so I'm so stunned how far we've fallen in that respect. And so it's critical that we stand up in that void and we assert ourselves and we remind people of who we are and that we're all better off and we're all better off. And that we celebrate, we don't tolerate our diversity, and we don't fall prey to the rhetoric of this administration. And we can't be complicit either in this moment, meaning we can't just be silent. That's what Donald Trump wants. Nor can we be violent ourselves. If we're going to protest, we do it peacefully. That's how you make things change. That's how movements are created, through peaceful protests. But we've got to assert ourselves and we've got to push back and stand up.
And speaking of standing up, the last couple weeks, the way you've been on social media, fighting against Trump and some of the things that he's spreading. I mean, it's such a strange time with his 2 a.m. Truth Social posts and, TikTok. And I mean, I want to commend your TikTok team. It's fantastic. We've enjoyed it. But What do you think is like the most difficult or even strangest part of navigating social media in this new, unprecedented time?
I think that the difficulty is that we're in our filter bubble, right? We're all in our own algorithms. And so a lot of things you see, other people don't see. A lot of things I see, other people don't see. One thing I know, Donald Trump never sees any of that. Yeah. What he just sees is his own reflection. He sees it because of the propaganda network that is Fox News. And by the way, that's not me saying that. That's Tucker Carlson. Yeah. I mean, come on, who's saying it? I mean, what more evidence do you need? Yeah. They gin up fear and panic about immigration. And then they sell calm and indifference around gun violence, around climate change, around all of these other issues. It's extraordinarily dangerous to our democracy, what they're perpetuating. And that's what Donald Trump sees. That's a reflection of his performance. And so he's deeply naive to what's happening out there. What I'm trying to do on social media, what I'm trying to do is, I think I get in his skin a little bit, under his skin. I think we punch a little above our weight. And so I'm pushing hard because I want him to understand what world he's living in. He doesn't live in just the red parts of this country. This is the United States of America. Yep. Many parts, one body, in the spirit of the Bible. Many parts, one body. He represents the United States of red states. I want a president who represents the United States of all of us, everything, our aspirations, our dreams, our visions, that sort of inspire us as active citizens of this country. And I want us to respect our farm workers and ag workers and our construction workers. I want us to respect people who have been here decades and decades, that are putting food on the table, that are actually building our homes, that are taking care of our parents and our grandparents, that are there for us when we get sick, and that are just trying to make, just trying to live their lives like everybody else, just trying to, just to love their kids and their families, that have been here for years and years, contributing $8.5 billion a year, $8.5 billion a year paying taxes in California alone. And you want an orderly, you want to reform immigration system? Let's do it. But let's do it in a responsible way, in a way that brings us together, not destroys the fabric of our communities and our economy. He is wrecking the economy of this country, not just California. He's wrecking industries that we rely on, industries that are points of pride. And this recklessness needs to be called out. And again, forgive me for being long-winded, but I think this is a code red, serious moment.
Governor, from devastating wildfires to ongoing immigration raids, California has faced challenge after challenge this year, and we're only on month 6. Yet communities continue to show up for one another. What do you think makes the state of California so uniquely resilient?
Well, I think it's reflected in the capacity of our ability to live and advance together across our differences. We're a majority-minority state. We practice pluralism. It's a word, by the way, Donald Trump is never uttered in his life. He would have to look it up because he doesn't know what it means. And it's foundational. We're a universal state. Again, that's our greatness. There's the American dream, and I still think it's real. But there's only one other state that attaches itself to a dream. There's no other state in America that attaches itself to a dream. It's the California dream and the American dream. And that dream is alive and well because we can continue to reconcile our differences. We recognize that divorce is not an option. And we have to define the terms of our future. And I think if we can just soften these edges, if we can work through this moment and we can remind ourselves that we all need to be loved, we all need to love, we all want to be protected, we all want to be connected to something bigger than ourselves, we all want to be respected, that we'll be fine and we'll thrive. And I think that's why California continues to outperform and continues to thrive.
Thank you, Governor. And we really appreciate you again talking to us and our community, because it is, we're in unprecedented times, but having someone like you being vocal and also being able to reach out just to our audience is really, really important. So we thank you for your time.
I appreciate all you guys are doing. It's an honor to be with you.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
It's deeply personal to us.
Thank you.